Thank you for joining us for this month's edition of About Business, your community show to find out about Arlington businesses, business leaders, and issues that affect our business community. On this month's show, we'll chat with Brian Thompson, chair of the Arlington Barbecue Fall Fest. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. So Brian, thanks for coming in the studio today.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about our favorite topic this time of year, the Barbecue Fall Fest.
It is upon us yet again.
It is.
Already.
So, okay, so tell me the date and then tell me how many years is this for the barbecue and how long have you been associated with it?
So this year it's traditionally the third weekend of October. So that this year that falls on Friday, October 18th and Saturday the 19th. So that's coming up here in a few weeks. This is technically the 24th year for the event. It's my 15th. So it started back in 1996 as the Arlington Barbecue Burnout, and it was actually coordinated and started by some people who were on staff of the fire department, and a gentleman who left the fire department at that time back in 2005. You know, we were kind of concerned who was going to pick it up, so I was on the chamber board at the time, and myself and Glenn Bascom, who was an alderman and also a chamber board member then, we said, hey, we can't let this thing go away, so we volunteered to take it over, made it a chamber event, and here we are 15 years later.
Okay, so October 18th and 19th. So tell me the difference in those 2 days, because one's a very public day, the other's kind of closed.
Yeah,
so tell me about that.
They're both, definitely technically open to the public, but Friday is definitely where all the, activities occur, right? So we have a band, and we'll have, activities for kids, moon bounces and laser tag and those types of things. Then of course, the chamber has the tent where you can come and buy a plate of barbecue. So, definitely Friday night is geared more towards,
and the contest, the jalapeno eating contest.
Jalapeno, thanks for reminding me, the jalapeno eating contest. And this year we're, our second year, we've added a steak competition. So the Steak Cook-Off Association, that's a real thing, the SCA, and the Steak Cook-Off will be on Friday night. And then for the first time, we're going to announce the winners of our ancillary contest. So that's like your beef, chicken, wings, those anything but kind of things.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to announce all those winners on Friday night. So just kind of adding more to what's happening on Friday. But to your point, typically then Saturday is a little quieter in the sense that we kind of focus on the actual barbecue contest.
The
That's
judging.
the day that the judging occurs for the barbecue categories. And so it's a little more low-key out there. It's really focused more around the contest. But Friday night's definitely, like you said.
Okay, so besides following your nose, where is it held?
So it's at Douglas Road Park,
Okay.
which is the park that's immediately adjacent to Arlington Elementary School.
Yeah, right across from the fire department.
Yeah, Airline Road and Memphis Arlington or Douglas. Right?
Parking is creative.
People figure out how to park, which it's never been well. We have a few parking lots, but based on it really, of course, depends on the weather.
It works out.
Yeah, it all works out just fine.
Works
You
out.
park for free, attend for free.
Okay, so this is a chamber event.
It is. Yeah.
But the chamber doesn't do the bulk of the organizing of it. What I do is I work with you on getting the sponsorships.
Yes.
But tell me about the committee that puts this together. Talk to me about the committee.
Yeah. So. To your point, and you are tremendously helpful in coordinating sponsorships and getting businesses to participate.
We want
we can't do it without them.
We want our businesses involved.
Exactly. But from a committee standpoint, like I said, it's my 15th year, and gosh, I mean, the first year we took this thing over, we just had no idea what we were doing. It was a complete. It was crazy. Here we are 15 years later, and fortunately, over the years, we've picked up more help, and literally we couldn't do it without Paige Evanson, so she coordinates all the teams, and I mean that's really where a lot of the work goes into.
How many teams?
Well, we have 56 or 57 teams this year, which is big. That's
it sure is.
We fill that and park up. So Paige, coordinates the teams. We have Malou Culver, who also is on a barbecue team. that helps us with our vendors. Sarah Dickey coordinates our judges, and then we have just a host of other help and volunteers.
How many judges?
I think we have
About?
close to 100.
Oh, okay.
With as many teams as we have,
Right.
you have to, you want to have more judges because you don't want your judges ideally judging in more than one category if they don't have to. But some judges will judge multiple categories, but I think we'll have anywhere from 80 to 100 judges.
And it's really a group effort because the planning starts almost like a couple weekends after the event.
Pretty much. I mean, we have it,
we take a little bit of a break.
Yeah, we take a little bit of a break, but we do kind of get started in the spring, right, to start.
Right.
And we really have things, I mean, it's a well-oiled machine thanks to you and to Paige and Malou and Sarah.
But we
and
always
others that help.
have barbecue teams looking for that information.
Oh,
when
yeah.
When's the information about this year's event going to drop, and so they are used to this event. Now, tell me about the connection with the Arlington Barbecue Fall Fest and the Memphis the barbecue.
Yeah, so
in May.
it's sanctioned by what's called the Memphis Barbecue Network. Used to, all these little circuit or regional contests were sanctioned by Memphis in May. Well, Memphis in May, it's been five or 6 years ago, became more of an invitational event, and they don't really sanction these little circuit events anymore. So an organization was spun off from Memphis in May called the Memphis Barbecue Network.
Okay.
That's who sanctions our events, and they'll send representatives to kind of help us oversee the judging, oversee the event. They do a points total, so these teams are building up points, to become the team of the year after the season is over. So that's what MBN does for us, and it's very similar with the steak. So the SCA is the Steak Association. They'll send representatives on Friday night to kind of help us, make sure everything goes smoothly.
It's a lot of fun, but it's a serious event too.
Gosh,
I
yeah,
mean,
people get
these
serious about
these
it.
teams are really serious about it.
Yeah.
And so talk to me about what the timeline is for when a team loads in and what happens, because some of the people that come on Friday night, they won't realize how much has happened before they come.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll be out there the weekend before, painting
Right.
the ground as well, labeling the spots, laying
Right.
everything out, and then teams start coming in on Wednesday. So literally, they're there, and we do have a lot of teams that come from outside.
The area.
Plenty from outside of Arlington, obviously. We do have some local participation, but teams come from Mississippi and Arkansas and all over. So yeah, they'll get here like Wednesday, Thursday, load in, set up, entertain their friends and family, maybe coworkers on Friday, and then Saturday, like we said, becomes more about the competition. And then by the time we announce the awards at 5:36 on Saturday evening, teams are packing up and heading out. So
Right.
it's kind of everybody's in. The small city pops up in the middle of Arlington, and then it's broken down and dissolved by Saturday evening. So
Great.
we're still cleaning up on Sunday too.
It's a lot of fun, and we've already been doing our no rain dance for several weeks. You and I have.
So any tricks or
Yeah.
tips anybody has to
We've-
prevent the rain, we love that.
We've been out there in the rain. We prefer not to be, but we have been. So we'll hope for good weather this
Pivot,
year.
we make it work.
That's
and,
right.
And the town of Arlington Public Works staff is so very supportive and
Phenomenal.
helpful as well. So when it rains, we've had to, kind of
Right.
improvise and deal with the mud and things. And so just
Mm-hmm.
team effort all around, like you said, just regardless of what the weather does or how many people are there. So.
Sure. When we come back, we're going to talk a little more about what this means for the Arlington community.
On top of first-class care, you will never receive a bill. The only thing we had to worry about was just keeping Azalea comfortable.
I was told we wouldn't get a bill. I didn't quite process that. How's this possible? It's possible through all the wonderful people who donate.
Para mí lo que la gente hace, consolidarse con la causa que tiene San Jude, tiene nombre y se llama Sebastián.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. If you think about that, I mean, go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine.
The research here is research that we share with everyone else because overall we want to help all children that have cancer. What makes that possible is people that give to St. Jude. They really help us to fulfill our mission, and we're so grateful to have them on our team.
Well, we're back now, Brian. So it's a great community event. Families come out. If the weather's great, we'll have thousands of people out there on Friday night. It'll be a really nice town event. But besides that, talk to me. Let's talk a little bit about why the chamber would be involved. Tell me about the sponsors and how this helps the whole thing.
Well, number one, to your point, it creates an opportunity for businesses to get some visibility,
Right.
right, by sponsoring. And we absolutely, like we said before, can't do without our sponsorships. Because obviously an event like this costs money, whether it's hiring the band or having tents and having all those things out there.
And the town doesn't fund this. This is funded
Correct. Yeah,
by
it's
the
100%,
sponsorship.
It's 100% funded by the barbecue committee or the barbecue
Right, by the
fund,
entry fee,
right?
and then the sponsorships.
The teams pay money to enters because the cash prizes really. This year, with the state competition of barbecue, we're giving out almost $16,000 in cash prizes. So there's big money at stake. But from a sponsorship perspective, let's gets our businesses involved. We absolutely can't do without them. But if you think about it, and I would argue that the Barbecue Fall Fest is one of the, if not the biggest drawing event that we have here in Arlington. We have great events in Arlington. Our Arlington in April, and a lot of the 5K runs, and lots
Music
of great
on the Square.
great community events. But this one, I would argue, probably brings more participation regionally. So it's a chance to showcase Arlington. And those teams spend money at Kroger and at our convenience stores and at gas stations. So they're bringing a little influx of money into our economy. And again, for those businesses that support us, gives them some visibility to those teams and to all the people that come out. So.
And they look around, they see what a great community
Absolutely.
it is. I don't know that anybody has said, hey, let's move to Arlington, but I do know that we've had that kind of reaction from businesses after Taste of Arlington, that they've decided to open a business in the Arlington area. So I wouldn't be
Well, I think
surprised.
if we repeat, some sponsors, such as our presenting sponsor, right, Homer Skelton, they have been the title sponsor for a number of years now. So
Right.
obviously they see the
It's
benefit.
working for them.
It's working for them, and we want that, to have that opportunity for other businesses and chamber.
That's
members.
right. So we talked a minute or so about the Chamber and the Barbecue Committee's partnership, but it really has been a great partnership because, I couldn't pull off the event by myself. With the Chamber working on the sponsorships, it gives the committee time to worry about the planning.
Exactly. No, it's been tremendously helpful to have your assistance there and soliciting the chamber members and other businesses who want to get involved. So it's a tremendous partnership, and then with the having the tent set up on Friday
Right.
night, so that provides and one kind of I guess stigma that's associated with barbecue contests that people say is I don't know any teams,
So I can't eat.
so don't go.
Right.
But that's why we started the tent.
Right.
That you help coordinate and run that on Friday night, where people can come out and enjoy some barbecue, like $5, for
Yeah.
a plate of barbecue. You can't beat that.
You can't buy.
Right.
You can't get dinner at McDonald's for
Exactly.
that. So
Yeah.
come on out, get your $5 plate of barbecue, and we've got a live radio remote going on in the tent that evening. We've done that several years in a row now, and it gives people a chance to hear some of the things going on in Arlington with some of the businesses. They get to stop by, and Earl Farrell will be in our tent that night.
No,
so.
that's cool, and getting to hear from some of the teams and participants, and been, like you said, some of the businesses that get to, again, have more visibility and have some focus on them for participating and supporting the event, which is what it's all about. Like you said, community effort, team
It
effort.
is. It's a great showcase for Arlington. You guys do a fantastic job. Every year, we don't want to talk about it for a couple weeks because we all have to regroup, but it is a lot of fun.
I enjoy it. I mean, 15 years now. I'd love to have a protege, anybody out there that's interested in getting involved in
That's right.
barbecue
Wants to be
contests,
the-
organizing.
wants to be the next
looking
one
for a
to-
protege, somebody to come in and take this thing over. But no, 15 years running, it's been great.
That's
We have
right.
a great, crew, great team of people. Like I said, the town is very helpful. One person in particular, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Jamie Hanna. Jamie works for the town of Arlington in the Public Works
That's right.
and Parks and Rec Department. He is one of his favorite things.
And
He's
he
there.
loves this event.
Me and him are running around pulling hoses and fixing electrical problems, and it takes everybody to pull it off.
A couple years ago, it had rained a lot before the event and during the event, and it was there was a lot of water, and I thought nobody's going to come out. We still had 1,000 people out there that night. People just put on their duck shoes and they came on out and slogged
Don't mind
through
getting
it.
a little
So
muddy, but
that's right.
So thankfully or hopefully the rain holds off. As usual.
I think so.
It's the only thing that throws a wrench in it. Otherwise,
It's a fantastic event. So, well, thanks for coming in and
Yeah,
talking
it's my
about
pleasure.
it. Thank you for leading this event.
No, thank you for your
thanks
help and the chamber support. Absolutely.
for the
Couldn't do it.
committee doing all the
Absolutely.
heavy lifting. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter, your religion or, what part of the world you're from, that just sort of all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
Yo siento que soy parte de esa bendición que ese niño recibió al irse a su casa ya sanado.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Events for your calendar that'll be happening over the next few weeks in Arlington. Veterans Day, our observance of that, the program will be on Sunday, November 10th at 3 p.m. in Historic Depot Square. This event is sponsored by the Chamber. It's a great event. We'll have veterans that will represent each branch of the service. The Arlington Middle School band will perform, and the high school chorale will perform this year. So 3 o'clock, Historic Depot Square. Come down to celebrate our veterans. Then 2 town events I want to mention to you is Christmas on the Square is Saturday, November 23rd, 4 to 7 p.m. with the tree lighting at 5:15 in Historic Depot Square. If you haven't been to this event, this is really a wonderful family event. Bring out the kids. They'll have all kinds of hands-on craft activities down in Depot Square. And then Arlington's Christmas Parade is Saturday, December 7th at 3 p.m. The parade takes place on Airline Road. These 2 events are sponsored by the Town of Arlington, and more details will be on the town website at townofarlington.org closer to these events. That's all for this edition of About Business. See you next time.